right, here we go again. We are live with Shelters by Jesus podcast. So glad you're watching. Thank you so much for being a part of this, for hitting subscribe, hitting like. Our numbers are going up because of you, and keep sharing with your family and friends, please, because that's a biggie. More come on, the more that goes into the shelter. So we're very thankful. If you want to join us for support for $9 a month, you can get somebody off the street. You're going to see some more people. And you go to sheltersbyjesus.com, and it tells you how to give. You can do automatically or send it whatever. We're at 12 McClellan Street in Skowhegan. If you'd like a tour, call our phone number at 207-474-8833. And I have 4 books, and they're written by the dumb hick from Skowhegan, who happens to be me. And so anyway, they have 2 prices. They are $10 are free. We want you to have them. So you can call our office and tell them you want the books at 207-474-8833. I got to slow down. Or you can just type it in right on here going, I would like those books. You can have all 4, one of the 4, whatever you want, and just let us know. And so anyway, if you want to do a tour, call our number and come on over. Seth will give you a tour. Seth is our chief of staff, and he gives tours. So what we're doing right now, we're talking to some residents. We've been giving you on the road here, everywhere. And right now we're trying to do staff and residents. We had some this morning, and we got a couple more with us right now. We actually have a father and son here by himself with his son at the shelter. And I'll have them just tell you the names. Dad, what's your name?
I'm Rob.
He's Rob. What's your name, young fella?
I'm sorry, I'm nervous. Bentley.
Bentley.
Toby.
That's okay. Seth, you got to get this kid a cue card. All right? Give this kid a break now. I got to stop asking hard questions. That was the whole thing. Now, if I hadn't thrown a hard question at you, you'd have had that sucker right there. Right?
It wasn't a hard question.
It wasn't a hard question? All right. Well, I'm going to remember your name next time because I wanted to call you Brandon, so I won't do that. I had one guy, I couldn't remember his name here. You know what I ended up calling him?
What?
Abercrombie. You know why? I can remember Abercrombie. And that guy, all the time he's here, I never remembered his name. I don't even know what it is now, but I know if I saw him, I'd call him Abercrombie. You know what everybody else did? Called him Abercrombie. My wife goes, you are weird. That's what she told me. So, but.
You can just call me Ben.
Ben?
It's easier. Yeah.
I like Ben. And how old are you, Ben?
11.
11. Do you want to rethink that? Are you sure?
I'm sure.
You're sure? Okay. Well, you hesitated there for a second, so I didn't know. Are you married?
No.
You're not married. You're still single.
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right. Do you have any girlfriends or anything?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I'd like to know this too.
All right. All right. Well, I didn't know if you had a little harem on the side here that we didn't know about at the shelter, so. All right. So I like this kid. And you can see I'm just getting to know him too. They've been here a while, but I'm not on the grounds all the time. Seth is now. I used to be on the grounds all the time, but basically now I'm just the mouthpiece for the shelter. And because of that, this other thing I forgot to tell you, if you're interested, I'm traveling speaking. I go to churches, organizations. We also take the podcast to you. We have podcasts, We'll Travel. Like the old Paladin show. Have got We'll Travel? We got to have podcasts, We'll Travel. And we'll come to you. Just give us a call. If you got something you'd like to have a show, some ministry, whatever, we'll come. So now back to my residents. Now I got the $1 million question. Are you ready?
Absolutely.
Yep.
For 200 points.
Yes, sir.
This is a big one. All right. What was the cause of homelessness for you guys?
Well, I lived in Augusta, and they sold my building, and
They sold the building you was living in.
Yeah.
It wasn't your building.
No. Wasn't
I'm
my
going to say,
building.
if it was your building, you're taking me out to dinner if you got enough money to buy one of those buildings.
Anytime.
All right. So somebody else's building.
They ended up selling the building and gave us like 2 weeks notice, because our lease was up at that time,
Okay.
and told me, hey, we're not renewing your lease
So when
at
your
all.
lease runs out in 2 weeks?
Yeah, you got to find somewhere else to go.
Wow. That's a short notice, man.
So, yeah, it is. But unfortunately, this happened all over Maine and
We're
stuff like
running
that.
into it. If you've been watching our podcast, guys, you've seen that. Right, Seth? We're hearing that story. Man, I don't know how many we got here like that, but You're not, because you're here with them. You're hearing the testimonies in the morning too,
Yes, sir.
and you know how rough it is.
Yeah, and I just can't believe that that many people going through this struggle all at once, and it's heartbreaking to hear sometimes.
It is. It is. And the hard part of it is, it's one thing to step out in 2 weeks, another thing to find something that you can afford.
Oh yeah, you can't afford anything out there nowadays.
The rents are really, really, really crazy. And I've got a question for you, Ben,
Yeah.
for 200 points. Actually, I'll give you 300 for this one. How's that? What's it like at school? Do the children, do they look at you differently, and they talk to you about you being homeless? Is that even a subject that you have to deal with, being a homeless boy?
Oh no, nobody barely even says anything about it.
Cool.
The people in my classroom are nice, but some of the other kids are kind of rude.
Yeah, but they're rude to everybody, right?
No.
No, they just rude to you?
Yeah.
What would you
Or
have?
at least what I've seen.
Okay, so you have a thing on the back of your shirt that says, "My name is Ben. Be rude to me."
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but you've made friends at school.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've actually made a new one, and he's trying to reach out to my dad about a sleepover.
Yep.
Yeah.
He wants to a sleepover.
Yeah.
At his place or here at the shelter?
His place. His name's Costa. He's a
Coaster.
Costa. His name. He's a real
Costa.
Costa. Yeah. He's
What,
a
am I
really
getting-
good kid.
Like Costa Rica.
Oh,
Yeah.
so he's not a co-star.
Yeah. He's a really good person.
Okay. Okay. And what grade are you in, Ben?
5th.
You're in the 5th grade.
Yeah, going to middle school next year.
So you're almost a big boy. You're
Yep.
almost one of them middle school boys.
Yep.
Are you ready for that?
Junior high. Yep.
Junior high, baby.
Yes, sir.
Junior high, baby. I remember that was a big thing when I was young. Now, do they have a 6th grade graduation?
I don't know.
You don't know. Well, you got to check on this stuff, man. You know, it's important. These are important facts. For 100 points, you got to find out, man. Next question I ask. See, you got to have that one. I know my kids. They have the 6th grade. They had the 6th grade one. What I laugh at is sometimes they have a kindergarten one. That's the one that kills me. How do you graduate from kindergarten? Did you graduate from kindergarten? Did they have a graduation?
No.
That
I mean, I don't know. For some reason the only thing I remember from when I was little was they like had this little screen, and they like had showed a bunch of pictures from the classroom.
okay?
Yeah.
So that was as close as you got.
Yeah, and the parents got to see them.
All right. Well, you might have had a graduation and you didn't even know it. They didn't tell you.
Yep.
No, that's cruel. Now, did they give you some cake or something? I mean, you ought to at least get some cake if you graduate.
A cookie.
Near enough. Near
Yeah.
enough. I can do that. Okay. Now, for another 300 points, what's life like here for you at the shelter? Are you scared here? Are you nervous here?
No. The people here are wonderful.
I like
Awesome.
that. I like
If you
that.
just take a minute to sit and meet everyone, they're great people.
I like that.
Nobody's here has ever been rude to me.
That none of them been rude to you?
No.
How come they're rude to me then?
Oh.
I can't.
Because nobody likes it.
That's right. Nobody likes him either.
I like to add something to what he said. Is like, because I've been here, quite frankly, I don't think the name "Sheltered by Jesus" I don't consider this a shelter at all. And what I mean by that is like it's been more like family when you walk in here. Because when me and we came in here, I'm nervous because let's be honest with you, when you get shelter, you think of city run, boom, they don't care, you're just a number,
Yeah.
right?
That's
They don't care about
I've
you.
never been though, but that's what Steph and I've
they
been
want
told,
you
right?
in
So-
and out.
Yeah.
But since I've been here, like personally, like my stress has gone away. Like my depression. The only time I had it was when I came to talk to Seth about it, and Seth told me what I needed to hear at the time. You got this.
Okay.
God loves me, and just give it away, give it to Him, give it to trust, and I did that, and it helped me out a lot.
Awesome.
So, but when I say like this is not a shelter to me, this is like a family. Like I can take my son here, and everyone here shows him love, whether it's the residents or staff. And that goes for all the family I've seen since I've been here. Some of these ladies here on the family side,
Right.
just glowing, just because they know they can open the door. Hey, what's going on? Just happy, and their needs are being met. And not only that, because you're not just housing people here. You're healing them. And stuff that's been through.
Good.
And I've seen that for myself.
That's what we try doing. That's the idea.
I wanted to note that.
Okay. What do you guys think about the rules we have here? Do you think that we're unfair with our rules?
No different rules than you would have at home, at your own home. To be
There you
honest
go.
with you.
I like that.
It's all about respect and everything like that, and there's plenty of it. here.
So, what do you think about the church services? And you have to go. We have prayer meet in the morning. We have a Bible study every night, and that is mandatory. What do you think of all of that?
Okay, so at first when I got here, like I've gone to Giant. I'm a Christian, but like I haven't. You know what I'm saying? I'm like one of those. I'll go to church when I feel like it. But since it's been every night and everything, like my mood has been more positive.
Good.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's been making me feel better. Hearing God's word. And quite frankly, I think it's good for everybody. It feeds your soul.
Yep.
So.
All right, Ben. What do you think about living in a church?
Knowing that God's right by my side makes me feel very good.
What an answer, Seth. I want that written down. Knowing God's right by my side makes me feel good. That comes from a kid. I mean, an almost young adult kid. Not a kid now, because you're graduating to older kid. So I think that is fantastic. That's a great answer. It's funny you say that, because I had one kid that was here, and at that time we had he was living in the library. We had a library, still had the books in there. We hadn't made it over yet. We was in the early stages, and we just threw a bed in there, and he was in there with his mom, and he was very nervous about school and about he just nervous about everything, and he was afraid he'd have a hard time adjusting here. His mother come in to a prayer meeting in the morning, and we have our testimonies with a praise, and I say, "Might have a testimony of praise," and she says, "I do. I want to talk about my son. He's in school, going to school, and he was asked by some of the kids there, because we're just starting, so people aren't used to us being a homeless shelter. This is way back, this before Seth's time and all of that. And anyway, it was so funny. His mom said they asked him, "Well, what do you think about being in the shelter?" Actually, she said his teacher asked him. Then the kids talked to him, but the teacher asked him what it was like, because we're new to the town, we're new to all of this, and he goes, "I must be very special to God, because he lets me sleep in his library."
That's all.
That's great words.
That's a lot like you're at. That's what as soon as you said that kid come to mind. I hadn't thought of that in a long time, but that's what he told his mom, and he told them. He come home. He said, "Mom, they asked me what it was like being in." I told him, "I must be very special to God, because he lets me stay in his library." So I hope you're enjoying listening to these young people. We've got the little ones all the way up to it, and that's why we want to bring families on too. That you get to hear from the young people that are here. You haven't heard one say they're scared to be here yet, and we've asked a lot, haven't we, Seth? We've had a lot on the podcast. Not one person, the women, the kids, nobody said they're scared here, and that blesses our hearts, because we work hard to make sure that this place is safe. And I'm glad to hear that the kids at school, you're making friends. It doesn't matter that you live in a homeless shelter, and not only a homeless shelter, but you live in the church itself. And we have the men's shelter, which is all homeless shelter, but this is a church and shelter. We do it for all of that, and that's where you live, but it doesn't have a negative effect on your school. And I appreciate that. That is really cool, because I'm not a young person going to school from here, so the only way I can know how people at school react is I ask you, right?
Right.
So you guys are trying to find a place. You're in the search process. Have you found any prospects out there yet, Rob?
I've looked at a few. Well, not looked, but contacted a few. But it's just again with the market, and I have housing, so I have to follow a certain guideline
Right.
with it.
Right.
So, but it's just the rent's so high.
And how much is your voucher for, man?
My voucher is for 1,300. That's for a 3-bedroom.
Okay. All right. Now, if you hear 1,300, you go, "Wow, that's a big voucher." But around here, it's sad to say that used to buy you a house and pay your taxes,
That will get you a studio or 1-bedroom.
and
nowadays.
because you have other children besides
Yes,
Ben
I have a daughter.
that
Who
we
is a gardener. She comes up here on the weekends. I
Okay.
think you've met her.
So your daughter lives with
Her mom.
her mom.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I have her on weekends.
Okay. So in order for you to have her and Ben though at the house, a voucher demands you have X number of bedrooms.
Yeah, because
correct?
because it's boy and girl, and she has to have her own bedroom.
Right, and
stuff
Seth
like that.
has done foster care, and he knows all of that. So that really shrinks down what you can look at. And as soon as you go 2 bedrooms plus, you're talking 3 bedrooms.
Yeah,
you say.
yeah, and it's talking about 1,800, $2,000
Yeah, that's what they're going
for
for.
a mediocre apartment. That's not, we're not talking about.
They're not talking about the Trump Plaza.
Yeah, no, not at all. And again, I think with God's help, we'll find out what we need to be. Well, what He wants us.
And you will, and God will move you when it's time. But we're coming to an end of this. I got the finger from my cameraman saying my time is running out. We're trying to hold these 20-minute slots. Before we close, I want to say thank you, Rob and Ben. Ben, you did an awesome job. Tell me you've done this before, right?
No,
Well,
this is my first time.
Seth, does he not act like a pro? That's a pro. And Seth has done movies, and he knows a pro, man. Maybe you're going to have a future in the movies, because if you take to a camera like this, then the girls are going to chase you, man. You want to hang on.
No.
Okay, and then Daddy can afford a $1,600 apartment or whatever if you go into the movie business. So you might be the food ticket going forward.
My dream is to travel the world.
As long as you chase
Travel the world, all right.
As long as you chase some books for us and get better grades.
There you go. There you go. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for continuing to watch. Thank you for subscribing and hitting like. Thank you for those of you that reposted. Thank you for the comments. We love the comments. They're very encouraging to all of us that are involved in this ministry. When you comment on the podcast that you like what we're doing and so forth, it means more than you can imagine. A couple of kind words mean a lot to us. And so we want to say thank you. Keep watching. Keep sharing. Hey, we have live services here. I preach on Saturday night by streaming. We stream my Saturday night message, but at 5:30 we have live worship music, and they are awesome. And you can, if you're in Skowhegan area, come to 12 McClellan Street on Saturday night, please, at 5:30. Join us. We'd love to have non-residents come and be here live and check it out and all of that. But in the meantime, y'all come back now here.